Our goal is to create leg A, the left front leg of the Strandbeest. So this is what we're going to be creating in these YouTube videos. And we have our directions open, and we are working on section B, create body and main rotating point C for leg A, left front leg. Our goal is to get to this picture down here. Here we have all of our sliders, and you might want to check that alpha is correctly done. So you right click on the slider button, choose object properties, and on the slider tab make sure that you have speed set to 2 and the repeat set to increasing. Okay, ready to go. First thing we need is that main body point, so we go to the new point tool and we click somewhere over here to get A. That's going to be the center point for the front legs. Now we want a body whose length is BL for body length. So we go to the line tool, segment with given length from point, click on A, and we want it, just like we said, the length to be BL. They're both little letters, so BL, and click on OK. We get the body and point B. We're going to rename this segment B for body. So we right click on the label, go down to rename, and type in B. OK. Now we don't really want to see that label, so we're going to turn it off. Right click, deselect show label. But here it is over here. B equals that. Now we need the midpoint of this, which is going to be the place where the motors are. The midpoint, the belly button of the body, is going to be the place where we locate our motors. So we go to get our midpoint tool. We click on line segment B, and we get the midpoint of this. Even if we change this length here, this point will always be the midpoint of AB. So because we call it the belly button, we're going to rename it BB. So right click, rename BB for belly button. OK. And it's a good thing that we're going to leave the label on, but we're going to put it down here. Okay. So here's our body and our belly button. What we want to do is connect a motor to the belly button. And what the motor is something that rotates. And we want it to rotate with an angle of alpha. So BB is the base of our angle motor, and the size of our angle motor is alpha. So we need an angle with given size. We click on B, we click on BB, and we erase 45 because that's fixed, and we make it dynamic by clicking on alpha. So alpha here, alpha here. Okay. And now we have an angle that if we go in and get our select tool and we click and drag alpha, that angle should change. There we go. Put it back to 30 because it's a good place for it. And what we want is a point that's rotating with beta, which is equal to alpha, but which is the motor distance from BB, not the distance, not the length of the half of the body, but the motor distance. So the first thing we need to do is connect BB to B so we can get a point on it. Let's get rid of this label here. So we need a line segment connecting BB to B. Now this line will rotate, so we're going to rename it R. So right click on segment A, rename it R for rotator. Now what we want is a point on R that's M distance from the belly button. So that means we need a circle. So we go and get a circle, but not that one because that's through 2 points. Circle with a center and radius. We click on BB. What did we say we wanted the radius to be? M, little m, and OK. And there's our circle. This distance here is the length of the axis of the motor. So we want that point there. So we need an intersection tool. Intersect. We want the circle and the line to glow, and click. And that C right there is our main point. Now we have to clean up every time so we can move to the next part of the construction. Our general rule of thumb is that all lines are dashed all circles are dotted, and only objects we need for the next construction are labeled. Our main points are A, B, 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 and C here. Okay, so let's do that. First thing we would do is click on this, right click on the line, go to Properties, make the style dashed, and it's usually a good idea if it's a very thin line, so I'm going to make it down to 1. You can see that it's thinner here. It's marked right now. Let's see what it looks like. So it's very thin. Okay, and we don't want to see the label. We forgot to turn it off, so just right click and don't show the label. The circle, we want to make it, like I said, we want them all to be dotted. There it is. We're going to actually color it green so that we know that it goes with the motor, which was green. And we're going to turn off its label. C is one of our main points. We're going to take our move tool and move that label to a nicer place on 30 degrees. And now we're going to right click it. This is going to be a point that we want to see all the time. So we want to have the color green, and we want to make it a little bit bigger so we can see it. There we go. Now the last thing is we don't want that angle to be so big, and we want it to be the same color as alpha so that we know that it's coming from alpha. So we right click on the angle, we go to Object Properties, we make it dark blue, which is down here. We're going to use the one that we already have here, and we go to the Style tab and move its size all the way down to 10. And now everything looks like it should be. Let's try it. Looks great. Move it back to 30 and check our picture. They look the same. That's what we needed to see. So we are done with part B.